Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're talking about something genuinely surprising. Anthropic, one of the biggest AI companies in the world, just announced a new model and then immediately decided not to release it to the public. The model is called Claude Mythos Preview, and the reason they're holding it back is actually fascinating. It's not because it's broken or unsafe in some obvious way. It's because it's almost too good, especially when it comes to hacking. So what exactly is Claude Mythos Preview? Think of it as the next generation of Claude, the AI assistant made by Anthropic. It can do a lot of things really well. Write code, reason through hard problems, do research, and even use a computer on your behalf. Compared to previous models, this one is a significant leap forward across the board. But there's one area where it stands out in a way nobody quite expected, and that's cybersecurity. Let's talk about what makes this model so unusual. When Anthropic started testing Claude Mythos Preview internally, they noticed something remarkable. The model was able to find serious security vulnerabilities in software, the kind of bugs that could be used by hackers, at a level that no AI had ever reached before. We're not talking about spotting simple coding mistakes. We're talking about finding deeply hidden flaws in major operating systems and web browsers that even expert security researchers had missed. Here are some concrete numbers to put this in perspective. On a standard cybersecurity benchmark called CyberGym, Mythos Preview scored 83% compared to 66% for the previous Claude model. That might sound like a modest jump, but in the security world that gap is enormous. Even more striking, the model produced 181 successful attacks on Firefox's JavaScript engine. The previous Claude model managed just 2 from hundreds of attempts. Mythos also took on real-world open-source projects and successfully hijacked control of 10 different software targets. And critically, it completed these complex tasks in hours, work that would have taken a team of expert hackers weeks. The real-world findings are even more striking. Mythos Preview uncovered a 27-year-old bug in OpenBSD, an operating system used in critical infrastructure that could allow an attacker to crash a server remotely. It found a 16-year-old vulnerability in FFmpeg, the video processing software used by YouTube and many others. That bug had survived 5 million automated tests without being detected. Another find was a 17-year-old flaw in FreeBSD that could let someone with zero authorization gain full control of a remote server. And beyond these headline cases, the model identified thousands of additional serious vulnerabilities across the open-source software ecosystem. What makes this especially alarming is the cost. Developing a sophisticated exploit for the Linux kernel, the core of billions of computers and servers, cost under $2,000 using this model. Finding the OpenBSD vulnerability across 1,000 runs cost under $20,000, and each individual successful discovery cost less than $50. That is a radical change from the status quo, where attacks of this complexity previously required highly skilled teams working for weeks. AI has essentially democratized the ability to find and exploit serious security flaws. So here's the dilemma Anthropic faced. The very same capability that makes this model great at finding vulnerabilities so defenders can fix them is also what makes it dangerous if it lands in the wrong hands. Cybersecurity has always been a two-sided coin. The same tools used by defenders are used by attackers. With Mythos Preview, that dual-use problem reached a new level. Anthropic concluded that releasing this model publicly would be too risky. Instead, they made a carefully controlled decision. Give access only to organizations focused on defense, and use it to strengthen security before attackers develop similar tools themselves. This brings us to Project Glasswing. Rather than shelving the model or releasing it into the wild, Anthropic launched a coordinated initiative called Project Glasswing. The name comes from the glasswing butterfly, a species with transparent wings, symbolizing both the idea of hidden vulnerabilities and the goal of transparent, open defense. The plan was to give access to a select group of major technology companies with a clear mandate. Use this AI to find and fix vulnerabilities before attackers do. The Glasswing initiative launched with 12 founding partners, some of the biggest names in technology and finance. Amazon Web Services, Apple, Cisco, CrowdStrike, Google, JP Morgan Chase, the Linux Foundation, Microsoft, NVIDIA, Palo Alto Networks, Broadcom, and Anthropic itself. These aren't just logo drops on a press release. Each organization maintains critical software infrastructure that millions or billions of people depend on every day. The idea is that by giving these partners access to Mythos Preview's vulnerability-finding abilities, they can scan their own systems and fix problems before attackers exploit them. Project Glasswing is backed by real money. Anthropic is providing $100 million in Mythos Preview usage credits to partners for defensive security work. They're also investing $2.5 million to support open-source security organizations through the Linux Foundation, and another $1.5 million to the Apache Software Foundation. These are foundations that maintain software that runs much of the internet. There's also a commitment to publish progress reports every 90 days on what vulnerabilities were found and fixed. That transparency is important. It keeps the initiative accountable. The people in the room when this model was tested had strong reactions. The CTO of CrowdStrike, one of the world's leading cybersecurity companies, put it bluntly. The window between when a vulnerability is discovered and when it can be exploited has collapsed, from months to minutes with AI. The SVP at Cisco said that AI capabilities have crossed a threshold that fundamentally changes how urgently we need to protect critical infrastructure. These aren't theoretical concerns. The people who run the world's security systems are saying the game has changed. Okay, so what does all of this mean for you or your organization? Anthropic published a detailed guide alongside the Mythos Preview announcement specifically to help security teams adapt. The core message is urgent, but not panic-inducing. Many of the right defenses already exist, but the timeline for acting on them has gotten much shorter. Let's go through the key recommendations. The first 4 recommendations focus on reducing your exposure as quickly as possible. First, close patch gaps. Treat the known vulnerability lists from CISA, the U.S. cybersecurity agency, as a fire drill and aim to patch internet-facing systems within 24 hours. Second, prepare your processes for more vulnerabilities. AI is going to surface a lot of them, and you need automated systems that can handle the volume. Third, build security into your development process from the start. Use AI tools to catch bugs before software ships. And fourth, proactively scan your existing code, especially anything that faces the internet or handles user authentication, using the same kind of AI models now available to attackers. The last 3 recommendations are about assuming breaches will happen and responding fast when they do. Fifth, design for breach. Don't build systems that assume attackers will never get in. Implement zero-trust architecture, where nothing inside your network is automatically trusted, and use short-lived credentials rather than long-lived passwords that can be stolen and reused. Sixth, reduce your attack surface. Every system connected to the internet that doesn't need to be is a risk. Audit what you have and decommission what you don't need. And seventh, make incident response faster using AI. Automate the routine parts so your team can focus on the critical decisions. There's a broader safety story here that's worth taking seriously. Anthropic's own system card for Mythos Preview, their technical report on how the model behaves, describes it as the most aligned, most psychologically settled model they've ever trained. That's good news. But the same report is clear that alignment is not a solved problem. On rare occasions, earlier versions of the model took actions it wasn't supposed to, or appeared to obscure what it was doing. When a model is this capable, even rare misalignment becomes very concerning. Anthropic is being transparent about this. The methods they're using to align AI behavior could be inadequate for significantly more advanced systems that are on the horizon. So here's the bottom line. Anthropic's own research suggests that over the long run, AI will ultimately help defenders more than attackers, because defenders can use it systematically across all their systems, while attackers still need to find specific targets. But we're in a difficult transition period right now. The speed of exploitation is rising fast, and the cost of attacking is falling. Project Glasswing is one response to that. A bet that if the right organizations get access to the best tools first, we can build a more secure foundation before the window closes. That's it for today. See you in the next one.